Excellent. Well, hello and welcome all my crafty friends. It's Wednesday, and I'm not Chris, I'm Michelle. And for those of you that come into the store, I'm the one that has the purple hair. Well, today I am going to be doing a quick mini one sheet fold project. This is what we're going to end up with. I'm using the Americana paper from Cartabella, so maybe some of you already have that in your stash. Just real quick, I'll show you what the project looks like completed, and then I'll walk you through all the measurements and instructions. So you can open it up. We've got pockets over here. We've got a little flip out. And then you turn it over. You've got even more. Lots of room for pictures, writing down your remembrances of maybe Thanksgiving or special event. And then I've just got a couple of tags and a little double pocket here. And there we go. That's the project that I'm going to be showing you how to make today. It's really easy, and again, like I said, it's one sheet. So we're going to use this really pretty Americana paper in honor of the autumn and our upcoming Thanksgiving for all of us American folks. And just for some accent, I do have our 3x4 cut apart. So it is one sheet to do the base, and then you can always, if you happen to have spare pieces from your cut apart, you could definitely utilize it for this project, or you can go back into your scraps and find some complementary colors to add. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So the exterior, I'll put my little details right up here so you can see them. So we're going to start with the exterior, and we are going to cut this 12 by 12 paper, and we're going to cut along here to 5 by 12. And hopefully my blade is still nice and sharp. I don't know, I was cutting some stuff and I'm like, uh-oh, I might need a new blade. So I always like to double check and make sure that I'm definitely at my measurements. I'd really hate to mess up and have a crooked folio. That would not be fun. So there's our first piece. And we're actually going to cut a second piece in a minute, but let's do the first one. We'll get that one done first. So after you've cut your 5 by 12, we're actually going to score. And we're going to score in three places, excuse me. And this is where you kind of want to decide what you're going to do for your cover. Either, oh, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Sam's keeping me in line over here. She's got me going right. So you can do a couple of decisions here. You can either use this as your cover, or you can use the interior. So if you're going to do this as the interior, you're going to want to make sure that you have the interior face up. If you're going to make this the interior, obviously you do it that way. But today, to keep with the sample that I have, you can see the interior here. So that's what we're going to do. So your first score is going to be at 3.5. So we'll get that scored nice and neat. The second one is at 7. And the last one's at 10.5. There we go. And I like to make sure, do your first fold, burnish it on out. And I like to go both ways just to make sure, because we're going to make that one into a pocket. So I like to make sure that it's already auditioned and ready to go when I do all my little folds. There we go. There's our second one. And then there's our third. there we go. So that's our first bit. Let's put that one aside, and we're going to go ahead and do the next piece, which is going to be an 5 by 8, and then we're going to score that one twice because we're going to be making this little interior spot, which is this. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and cut 5 by 8. Now, I'm going to keep this simple, and I'm just going to do 5 all the way down. Otherwise, I would probably cut to 8 and do that, so that way I could save the rest of the paper. But today, to keep it simple, I'm just going to do it this way. But of course, you do you. And then because we need 8 across, I'm going to do that. And then we'll have our 8.
I'm going to zoom in on the instructions real quick.
Okay, there we go. Now get my finger off of there.
Yeah, just so that they can screenshot it. And...
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Krista, Sam does such amazing work. I'm so appreciative. Now, the thing I'm looking at is how I'm going to do this. And so I'm going to make this the interior part of the pocket. So I'm going to make sure that I have my page facing up like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my scores. So my first score is at 2.5, which is going to make that first pocket. And then at 5. Okay, and we'll go ahead and make sure we get our folds nice and neat. And you notice that comes a little bit short because that's going to be the interior card, and it's going to fold like that. So you want to be able people to see that when they're opening your folio. Okay, there we go. All right, we are done with our scoreboard, so definitely go ahead and put that to the side. Don't need that anymore. And then we'll go back to our shell. And let's go ahead and start with our front pocket. So this is the interior of the front. This is your front. And we're just going to put the pocket right in here. So you're going to want to glue just here, here, and here. And the reason for that is that you want to be able to tuck in there, but you don't want your paper to go sliding through. So that's why we're going to do it on 3 sides. Thank you, Sam. Oh. And I managed to pull the head of the pin out instead of the entire pin. So we're gonna use some other glue for now. Oh, thank you.
Fixed it.
Yep, easy fix. All right. Yeah. All right. Make sure you kind of go flush there, and then go ahead and when you feel good about that, you're gonna go ahead and put it down. Now I'm going to double check and make sure it's flush at the top, the bottom, and then I'm just making sure that it lines up with that corner, the seam of the fold. We're going to let that dry for just a moment. Just kind of making sure everything's all nice and neat. And what's nice with the glue is you have a moment or two to just kind of make sure that you've got it where you want it. Okay, and with that, we've already almost done with the shell. So the next piece we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and glue this as a pocket.
Got a couple of those.
Hey! Hey, Barbara! Hey, it's good to see you. Well, sort of, virtually. And Stacy, I remember you. Hi, Donna. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, and I've glued down the top and the bottom. I'm going to just give that a moment. Maybe burnish it just a little bit to make sure it stays. This is good therapy too, you know. Paper feels good to the fingertips. That's why we're all paper crafters, right? All right. So there we go. We've got the little pocket back here. We've got a nice fold over here, and then another pocket here. All right. So I'm going to fold that in and fold and fold, and there we go. Now the next bit is to do decoration, and you can do distressing. So for my sample, I actually distressed with vintage photo and also a little bit of the wild honey. I thought both of those looked kind of nice. They gave kind of a rustic and kind of that nostalgic look, which is something that I, of course, really love. Hi, Kenya. And so if you want to do that, you can definitely do that. I would say do it ahead of time. So I'll just real quickly show you a little bit of what the distressing can look like. I'm just going to do a little bit here so you can see it. And I laid down a little bit of the wild honey. And then I actually came back through with a little bit of the vintage photo. Gives it a little bit more complexity, just a little more interest, because you've got two. And I like that. I'm not going to do a lot of it. I don't want to spend time doing a lot of distressing that you all know how to do. But so we'll go ahead and put that aside. But I do want to show you a little bit here what I did with regards to these. So when you have cut aparts, obviously you can use them as is, or you might need to cut them down just a little bit so that they'll fit in the pocket. And I did do that with a couple of these. Oh, they're teasing me. They're like, yep. So I pulled the ball, not the entire thing. You know, I guess I need more training. So yeah, but
probably just glued in there.
yeah, maybe it just got kind of glued in. But anyway, so for these, you can trim them down a little bit. This has a really nice background, I felt, which allows you to do journaling. You can either do it right on the card, or you could stamp some lines in there. We do have some really cute stamps, like from, I'm thinking Arden Studios has kind of a nice lined ledger lines. Yes, and of course we do too. So you could always do that, or a little stamping on the back, whatever you want to do. I did a double card, so I'll show you how I did that real quick. So if you have your cutter, I'm just going to do two so you can see what that looks like. And I'm just going to pick two at the top because those are really quick and easy to do. Because I know, ladies, you're all going to want to do this, and you want to go do it right away. So I don't want to take too much of your time. But we're going to just cut those card out, and I'm just doing two. Just like that. And then I use my score because I like to get a good start on the fold. So I'm just going to lay it down here. We're going to do a half. Right like that. Here we go. Straight down the center. Go ahead and do your fold burnish. So I guess I lied. We did need the fold one more time. Okay. So and then what I did is on this front one, I just went ahead and I glued it right in to the pocket. Just like that. So let's go ahead and do that. I know y'all know how to glue, but we'll do it together. I hope everybody has having a good day. For those locally, we had some rain overnight, which was nice, and a little bit today. Yeah, it was a little bit light rain. There we go.
Best kind.
Yeah. And the temperature's still nice too. Okay. On this particular one, I did kind of the same thing, but what I did is I folded in half and I put it just with a little lip here. So instead of gluing it all the way flush, I just pulled it out a little bit so that you just have a little gap. So that way you have like a little tab. Then you've got room for photos. This is just a single cut apart. And I used a little bit of extra material that I had. Let's see. To show you that real quick. So let's get the cutter back out and do that. So if there's a cut apart or maybe just even scraps that you have, what I did, so we'll just go ahead and cut that out so I can show you. And I do a lot of eyeballing. I do like to measure, but I also like to eyeball. And so here, I think that's probably about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch, just enough to give a little bit of a framework. So for that, and I like how the lines gave a little bit more interest. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit off. I'm going to go 3/4. And I'm going to do 2 of those. And then we'll put those on. So right in there. And I just kind of, again, eyeballed, you know, that's what works well. And then let me get one more little piece here. Yep, another piece of card. So you can see what it looks like.
You should probably grab one with color.
Yeah, maybe that one. Yeah, we'll do that one. Okay, ladies. How's everyone doing? Aw, thank you, Barbara. Well, I do hope that you will give this project a try. They're great as little gifts, too. So. Okay, ladies. I did. Yeah. Oh, cool. So we're just going to do that. And we'll do. Yeah, and so close to Halloween.
Well, you don't have to put the cat on or hat on it.
No, you don't. All right, ladies. So then, as you can see, I'm not doing too much. There we go. And then we'll just add that right in the center. So we'll glue that in. All right. There we go. Make sure it dries. Okay, ladies. So we've got a pocket there. Now I did a little envelope, or a little flip up. Whoops, sorry. Thank you. Just keeping me in line. Thank you, Sam.
I'm trying to show, but you can't see.
Yeah. And I remember those. I'm like, yes. So we are going to do real quick we'll do a double. So let's do this. And I think this will actually be very cute if we do this. And let's do a quick cut. Now there are a couple ways that you can do this. I did the hard way. So on this sample here, so I'm going to show you an easy way. So the hard way is to cut the paper in half, glue it down, and then and I'm just having that. There we go. Now the hard way is to cut the paper in half, glue the back down, and then really try to line it up so that you glue your top. But we're going to do it easy, and what I've done, that's what you would do is if you don't have a lot of pieces, but we're going to do it this way, and we're just going to do a flip up. Yeah. And what's nice about this particular one is you could put like a picture in there or maybe some writing, whatever you want to do. But this gives you a little, this is nice because it does break up that red. And the thought is that you'd have a lot of other photos and things like that in there. There we go. Just like that. So that's the easy way, ladies. Do it that way. Now I want to just spend a moment on the front cover. You probably have all done this, but I love the cheesecake, or not cheesecake. I love cheesecake, by the way, but we're going to do cheesecloth. But you'll see two things is that I ripped a little bit behind there, and I will show you how that is done real quick because we know that this is a 5. I'm going to go ahead and cut 5 down, so that way then we can do we can replicate the rip. So we'll go here, and then we'll take that tab off, our little info strip. And don't forget to keep the back side if there's some goodies back there. Some nice print. So, okay, so on my sample here, you can see I've got a little bit of rip, and I've actually put a card on top of that. So I am just going to do a quick little rip, and what I do is I'm going to do this. And of course, there's a couple of ways to do it. We want it so that the red shows, so we're going to pull the paper towards us. Okay, let me come down a little so you can see. I heard you. I heard you. And we're going to do that. But you can see that when you rip it away, this is still a good piece that you can put in another place in the journal. But we're going to use this piece because we're going to put that on the front. But you can see when we rip it away, you can see that white. But we want to have a nice, clean, red, jagged edge. I'm going to glue that on there. Thank you, Donna. Now, I'm going to show you another sample from a different line where I made this same journal and I did it slightly different. And I'll show you that you could actually make a pocket if you want. So now let's get that cheesecloth out, Sam's favorite. Although you haven't been doing it for a while. Yeah. You started the craze and then you left it. I know how that works. I know how that works. So we're going to just cut off a piece of cheesecloth. Cheesecloth. I thought I said cheesecake again. It's like, man, I really have cheesecake on the brain. And I'm just going to cut some off. And that's probably a good amount because you're going to squish it up a little bit. There we go. And try to keep your piece in front of you and not back in the package. Okay, so there we go. Let me do a quick little cleanup so you can still see that in case you want it. Now I did a little bit of color, and so what I did is I used my 2 colors. And I know there's lots of different ways, and I'm always learning new ways of doing it. But for today, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to just kind of wipe across there and add some color. And there's lots of different ways to do it. I know Sam probably has a favorite way to do it. But I'm just going with a real light because I just want to darken up the white just a little bit so it's not quite so stark. But I don't want it to dominate. I want it to accent and complement what's on top. Okay. So it's really that quick and easy. And then let's do...
No dry time that way either.
Yeah, that's right. Barbara, we'll have to do cheesecake here sometime. Okay. So I am just going to kind of do a little squish around. I'm just going to audition it a little bit and see what it's going to look like. I've got my card. So I'm just going to play with it a little. I do want it to hang over the edge a little because, I don't know, it's kind of like beautiful chaos going on under there. So let's go ahead and put some glue down. And I'm just going to drop some down so that I can kind of hold it in place.
Lynn pointed out the Cheesecake Factory is up the 101.
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, yeah, we gotta make it. Now, one other thing that I did with this, I did distress the edges, and you know what? I do not have an edge distressor, but that's okay.
Tear them.
Tear them. Yeah, we could. Yeah, let's tear. We're gonna do a different. So let's do a tear, and see how that does. And you can see there's a little bit of white there, which makes it kind of neat. But it's not really over the top. Whoop, I've got glue on my fingertips there a little bit. Okay, there we go. We'll just do a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we don't need that in there, though. All right, ladies, and we're getting this bit. All right. Okay. Thank you, Sam. I wear glasses, so my projects often end up way down here because I've got to be able to see them. All right. And we're going to let that sit for just a moment. Now, one thing that I was thinking about as I was doing this and thinking about it this morning is that you could always add some leaves to this or other elements. And I'm just looking at what we have here. So, I mean, I'm not going to do...
We have this whole pile here.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We've got a pile of stuff. So we could actually add...
From a previous lunch.
For a little bit of stuff. So let's...
There's a little coffee mug.
Yeah. So let's go crazy a little bit, ladies.
Those colors happen to match too.
They do. So we're just going to go nuts a little bit here. Oh, I love this burgundy. So let's do that on the top. Ooh, I like the acorn. All right.
Vellum leaf too.
Let's see. want the pumpkin to still show up. So let's do the, ooh, yes, yes. Oh, that's cute. I'm loving it. I hope you are too, ladies.
Leftovers from previous lives.
See, that's why you want to keep your scraps. You just never know when they might come in useful, like on a live. So I'm going to kind of curve that just a little bit and see if I can get a little bit of flex in there. Okay. There we go. Up that way. All right, and let's do that acorn. That acorn is cute.
Foam squares.
I don't, do I? Oh, cool. We've got foam squares. Let's get those on there. Do a little foam square. Now, see, you want to actually put your glue on the back and then put a foam square. So,
That's just because you changed your mind.
yep, I changed my mind. I'm allowed to do that. So, does make it a little more difficult to get the backing off, but that's okay. Oh, sweet, sweet. What else we got? Oh, we'll do that because we want to do the threes. You know the rule of threes here, ladies. So let's do just a little bit more. Okay. And there, we're done. There's our cute little project. We did it. We did it. So we've got pockets, we've got flip outs, we've got like a built-in or kind of bifold there. We've got a flip up for journaling. If you don't want it to be showing, you can always put it in there. Another little pocket. There we go.
Show the measurements again that you used.
Yep.
For that.
Yeah. Whoops. And then, ladies, I'm just going to show you one of the other ones that I did because I was having so much fun with these that I also did a poo one. And so with this one, you can see I ripped the corner. I did a little card insert, a little bit of gemstones on the front. And then inside, I had some leftover tags. So I created pockets with leftover materials. I created a little tab, a little flip up so that you could, you know, tuck things under there. A couple more tags. Room for a real cute photo. So that's just another option. There's so many different things that you can do with this wonderful little one-sheet wonder, I call it. If you really like this and you want to learn other projects, then definitely check out my class. I think it's going to be November, oh crud, I don't remember the date, but it's mid-November, where you'll be able to learn 2 new projects using one sheet of paper and then some scraps. So thank you so much.